Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from York Racecourse here on Wednesday. It is the 11th of May 2022. We're going to look at almost all the races here on day one of the Dante meeting from York. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it, around the world. Remember to join me tomorrow for my Dante preview, and also this Saturday for my Lock-In preview from Newbury, the Man of War from Belmont, and Sunday for my French 2000, 1000 guineas from Paddy Longchamp. So it's going to be a good week of racing for the in-between week because you have the next week of the Preakness next weekend. So it's just going to be a good weekend for racing. But let's look at the action. We're going to look at the first six races. We won't look at the seventh race to 5:15. Very tough two-year-old race, which we're going to skip over. So let's get to the first race, to 150, which is the Jorvik Handicap. It's Class 2 Handicap going for a purse of $67,500. Races for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have 11 horses going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the York Turf Course. The course will be rated good with some showers in the forecast, so just keep that in mind. It's not going to be as fast as we normally have been seeing the last few weeks. But my top selection, I'm going to go with the number 10 horse here, Noble Masquerade. Let's go 10-4-5 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 10-4-5 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection, 10 horse, Noble Masquerade. 5-year-old gelding by Sir Percy. William Buick gets on this one for Eve Houghton. Horses most recent outing. First off the refreshing came the 25th of April at Windsor, a mile through 8s in a Class 4 handicap, and the horse won by 3.5 lengths that day, and he tracked all the way around. When he got the turn of foot, he quickened up nicely and got the job done. An all-around easy race. He's stepping up to a Class 2, which shouldn't be a problem. He's run decently against these horses in the past, coming here with good ground second off the bench. Buick back up. I think the horse could really run a good race. Very interesting. Godolphin does have the one-horse Global Storm in this race, but he does have a high weight, so they put the 7-pound apprentice on, so Buick had the choice to ride somebody else. He's going for this one today, so I think that's a good jockey booking for this one, and something you want to keep an eye on. The horse's final start of 2021 came on the 10th of November at Kempton, a mile and a half on the poly track in a Class 2 handicap, and he finished 4th by 4 lengths that day. He just kind of stalked that day. He had the lead for a split portion, but then at the end of a very tough 2021 campaign, he just couldn't keep up late. You know, the race just got to him, but he ran his heart out there. And then in the Class 2 at Kempton, a mile 3/8 on the 1st of November, he finished second by a neck. He stalked that day. He had the lead. Got caught right at the wire, but he still ran his heart out there. And then in Nottingham in late September, a mile and a quarter in a Class 2 handicap, he finished 8th by 5 lengths there. And he just kind of stalked. And again, he really couldn't get the good turn of foot. He likes running at Windsor. His last 2 victories came there. He won last time in April and once in August of 2021 over the mile 3/8, winning a Class 4 handicap by 4 lengths with a ginormous weight on his back. He won for fun there. He's run here at York once in the past. That was a place here a few seasons ago. Last season. In July in a handicap where he just stalked and just couldn't get there late, but he still ran his heart out. Come back here again today off some decent runs. I think he could really run a good race. Don't throw out the 4 horse here, Sam Cook. Rob Hornby's on this one for Ralph Beckett. Making his first start of the season. His races here at York, he won over this course and distance during the Ebor meeting. He likes running here. He has a good inside post draw. At 6-1, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets the job done. A definite horse to use in your place pot. But to recap my selection for the 150, the opener from York, it's the Jorvik Handicap. We're going to take the 10 horse Noble Masquerade. We'll give kudos to the 4 horse Sam Cook. 10-4-5 Tri-Cash Trifecta. 10-4 in your place pot. The second race, the 225, it's the Churchill Tires Handicap. It's Class 2 handicap going for a purse $47,500. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Horses rated 86-105. 22 horses are going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the 8 horse Mr. Wagyu as a top selection. Let's go 8-2 in the forecast exacta. 8-2 forecast exacta. Top selection 8 horse Mr. Wagyu. 7-year-old gelding by Churchill. Jason Hart's on this one for John Quinn. The horse's most recent outing came 30th of April in Newmarket. Good ground, 6 furlongs in a Class 2 handicap, and the horse finished 8th by 5.25 lengths there. He was sent off as 40-1 at post time, so he wasn't really favored at all that day. He just really couldn't get there from the back of the pack. He never had the good turn of foot, and it just wasn't his day to win. Coming back to York, where he's had some decent races in the past, I think he could really run a lot better than he did last time out at Newmarket. Might need the race there. 2 back, the horse ran the 9th of October here, York, on yielding ground, 6 furlongs in a Class 2 handicap, and he finished 6th by 3.25 lengths that day. He stalked that day. He slowly moved his way up. He looked like he was going to pounce late, but then he just kind of hung a little bit late. maybe just couldn't got beat by a little bit classier horses there. And then 24th of September at York, good ground, 6 furlongs on a class 2 handicap. He finished fourth by 2 3/4 lengths again. That day he was on the front end setting the pace, and then he just completely crumbled. Not completely crumbled, but he just couldn't keep the pace late off the quick turnaround of a few days. Prior to that, he ran an air 6 furlongs on a class 2 heritage handicap where he finished third by 2 3/4 lengths, where he just wasn't getting into it. But like I said, he likes running here at York. He's 6 for 2 over this course. He won here he placed here in July. He came back to win a good win in late July over the six. And like I said, his races here locally aren't half bad. You should get a good price with him back here, a second off the bench. 12 to 1, we're going to use him. The 2-horse Nomadic Empires are second likely winner for David O'Mara. Gets Callan up in the saddle. His most recent race of ripping over the 5. He really needed the race. He was moving a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular. But his races in the fall here haven't been half bad. He gets a good posture. He gets a good weight on his back. 10 to 1, another horse to use in your place pot in this very wide open handicap. But to recount my selection for the 225, the second race from York, it's the Churchill Tires handicap. Let's take the 8-horse Mr. Wagyu. Give kudos to the 2-horse Nomadic Empire. 8-2 Forecast Exacta. Use them both in the place pot, and to tell you the truth, do a combination or Exacta box here because any of these two can win. Let's get to the co-featured third race. Excuse me. The co-featured third race at 3 o'clock, which is the Group 2 Duke of York Clipper Logistic Stakes. It's Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $189,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have 11 horses going 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the 2-horse Dragon Symbol as a top selection. Let's go 264 in the TriCash trifecta. 264 TriCash trifecta. Top selection of 2-horse Dragon Symbol. 4-year-old colt by Cable Bay. David Egan's on this one for Roger Varian. The horse's most recent appearance came at Ascot on the 16th of October, yielding around 6 furlongs in the Group 1 British Champion Sprint Stakes, and he finished 14th by 7 lengths. He beat 6 horses home that day. He was with them early on, but then on the yielding ground, he just was not excelling. He never got the good turn of foot. He hit the wall. It wasn't his day to win. Come to a Group 2 today, lesser quality horses. He's in a better spot to win here today, and I think he could cross the line first today. 2 back, he ran in the Group 1 Flying 5 Stakes at the Curragh. 5 furlongs on the 12th of September. He finished 4th by 1 1/4 lengths that day. He stalked that day. He had a decent turn of foot. He got beat by slightly classier horses, but he showed his heart out there. It was not a bad race at all. And the Group 1 Nunthrope here at York over the 5 on the 20th of August. He finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths that day. He sat back early. He closed up a little bit late, but Winter Power and Emirati Anna, who's running back this one, really just had the jump on him. Emirati Anna's coming back in this one. Is going to carry a high weight on his back of 141 pounds. Had a great end of 2021 campaign, but the form so far this season has been very, very crap. But that's being said. But Dragon Symbol, I think he's in a better spot to win. He actually ran a good at Royal Ascot last year and actually won the Commonwealth Cup. But because of interference, this horse had to be disqualified, and they put Campanella up. What can you do? This horse just couldn't keep the straight course. But after that, in the July course, horse ran a massive place beyond Starman in the July Cup at Newmarket and came back to a very good second place finish in the King George at Goodwood. He likes going 6. His race here at York in the fall in the late summer wasn't bad at all. At 7-2, I like him a lot. Your second likeliest winner is a 6-horse Minzal. Jim Crowley's on this one for Owen Burris. He ran in the British Champion Sprint the last time out, where he was stepping up to Group 1 quality horses, where I thought he ran a decent third. He just couldn't get that good turn of foot, but I've seen a lot worse races for him there. And then a few weeks prior in the listed stakes over that at Ascot over the 5 on soft ground. Off the year refreshing, he placed that day. And again, probably wasn't 100% cranked, but he still ran his heart out here. Come back to York, where he won the Gimcrack here in August 2020. I'm going to give him another shot here today. I think he's a very lightly raced horse, and he has some gaps in his running guide, but he always runs these good races. At 4-1, he's a curiosity. Definitely use him in your place pot. But to recap my selection for the 3 o'clock, the third race from York, it's the Group 2 Duke of York Clipper Logistics Stakes. Let's take the 2-horse Dragon Symbol. Give kudos to 6-horse Manzal. 264 TriCash trifecta. 2-6 in your place pot. The featured 4th race now. It's an Oaks trial from York. It's the Group 3 Musidora Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $169,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies here. 5 of them are going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. I love the 2-horse Emily Upjohn. Let's go 235 in the TriCash trifecta. 235 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 2-horse Emily Upjohn. 3-year-old filly by Sea the Stars. Frankie to Torres on this one for John and Thady Gosden. The horse's most recent outing came the 22nd of April at Sandown, a mile and a quarter in a Class 4 fillies novice race, and the horse went by 9.5 lengths, and that was a show that day. This horse breaking from barrier number 12 at 12, which is very hard to do at Sandown. She was wide throughout. She broke decently that day. She was wide throughout. She quickened up nicely from wide trip, and she just kept going. That was a very good run first off the bench. She has a lot of stamina with that race. Coming here, stakes quality horses, drawn a lot better than she was last time out with some early pace. I think this horse could go a long way, and if she wins today, she might be your early favorite. She might be your favorite for the Oaks in about 4 or 5 weeks, whenever the Oaks is. I think 4 weeks or 3 weeks. It's in June, I can tell you that. But, she ran great at Sandown in her first race as a 3-year-old. Her debut came on the 23rd of November at Wolverhampton, mile 3/16 in the Class 5 novice race, and she won by a neck that day, and she sat back early. She slowly moved her way up, and she got the job done, taking good advantage of the long stretch, winning by a neck, an all-around good race. She's definitely improved with every single race, getting to the mile and a quarter again here today on good ground, which I think she should like. I think Frankie and John Gosden really have a strong duo with this horse, so let's take her. You can't throw out the Godolphin horse, Life of Dreams. William Buick's on this one for Charlie Outbean, like I said, Godolphin. The one to debut in a filly's main race at Newbury very, very nicely last month by 3.5 lengths, with this horse at an easy tracking position with the pedigree with the Dubowie and the Sea of the Stars on the dam side. I think this horse should stay forever, and I think she's on the up and up. And also the 5 horse, the Algarve for Coolmore and Ryan Moore. Ryan Moore and Coolmore had a great week last week, so you don't want to throw their horses out. This is another horse getting to the longer trip. The horse should stay forever. And it wouldn't surprise me, like the way the O'Brien horses have been running lately, if this horse gets a good trip. So we'd definitely use this horse in the place pot. It's a very wide open Musidora. So to recount my selection for the Musidora race, stakes, the 4th race at 3:35 from York. Let's take the 2 horse Emily Upjohn. Give kudos to the 3 horse Life of Dreams and the 5 horse de Algarve. 2-3-5 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Use all 3 of them in this place pot. Like I said, it's a very wide open Musidora. So let's get to the 5th race of the 410. Which is the Paddy Power here for the Kryak handicap. It's Class 3 handicap going for a purse $34,000. Race for 3-year-olds only. Horse rate 76 to 95. 11 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here a bit of a shot with the 6 horse Dayman. We'll go 6-1-7 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 6-1-7 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 6 horse Dayman. This 3-year-old colt by Oasis Dream. Ross Ryan's on this one for David Lohan. The horse's most recent outing came the 17th of April at Newbury. 7 furlongs on a Class 2 handicap. Going back to his 7 furlong trip, I think was a success for this horse. Even though he lost, he finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths. I think he showed potential that day, where he just kind of tracked. He needed that extra turn of foot, but I've seen worse races for him, like the race before, which came to Class 3 handicap at Wolverhampton, a mile and 1/8 on the 29th of March, around a 2-turn routing trip. He finished 7th by 19 lengths that day. He showed pace early on, but then he completely crumbled. He's not a router horse. He wants to go the straight 7 furlongs today, which I think he should absolutely adore. Before that, a Class 5 novice at Wolverhampton over the 12th of March, he was breaking from post 12 at 12, which is not ideal with that shoot on the turn at Wolverhampton, but he got over well. He was wide throughout, but he quickened up nice in the front end, winning by 4 lengths. I thought that was a good, very, very good stamina builder. And then prior to that at Sandown as a 2-year-old, 7 furlongs in a Class 3 novice race. He finished 6th by 4 1/4 lengths that day. And, he just kind of stalked and could never get the good turn of foot. I do think the soft ground got to him. I think good ground is what he wants. Making his York debut, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets the job done. Watch out for the 1 horse here, Sombrero. Frankie de Torres on this one for John and Thady Gosden. Most recently, he ran at Salisbury on the 20th of April over the 7 in a Class 5 novice race. He won by 3 lengths, 3/4 of a length that day. He was wide throughout, but he had a great tracking position to get the job done. And then before that, at Yarmouth in October, 7 furlongs on yielding ground, Class 4 novice race. He won by 1 3/4 lengths, and he really closed up from nowhere to get the job done. He has some early pace. He's drawn well. He should definitely get the 7 furlongs. Watch out for him, even with the high weight. But I think the Dayman, who's on the up and up, has a slight edge on him. But to recount my selection for the 410, the 5th race from York, let's take the 6 horse Dayman. Give kudos to the 1 horse Sombrero. 617, TriCast Trifecta, 6-1 in your place pot. Now the 6th race to 445. It's the Conundrum HR Consulting Handicap. It's Class 4 Handicap going for a purse of $27,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Horses rate 66 to 85. We have a field of 14 horses going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. I'm going to take the 13 horse here, Robert Walpole, as a top selection. Let's go 13-2-10 in the TriCast Trifecta. 13-2-10 TriCast Trifecta, top selection 13 horse Robert Walpole, 5-year-old gun by Golden Horn. Callum Shepard's on this one for Roger Varian. The horse's most recent outing came the 19th of April at Yarmouth. Fast ground, a mile and a quarter in a Class 4 handicap, and the horse finished second by 6 lengths that day. He just stalked all the way around the race course, but can never get the good turn of foot. I do think he liked the mile and a quarter. He's going to the mile and a half for the first time today, which I think he should absolutely love. Has some furly pace, and I think he's sitting on a very good run with a very low weight of under 24 pounds on his back. Two back, he ran the 25th of March at Newcastle, 1 mile in a Class 4 handicap, and he finished 5th by 3 lengths that day. And again, he just kind of stalked, and again, never got the good turn of foot. Like I said, just think he's been crying out for more ground. And then at Southwell on the 10th of March, 1 mile in a Class 5 handicap. He won by neck. He was drawn wide that day. He didn't break all that clearly, but he recovered well. He quickened up a lot, and he got the job done. A very good run for him there. And then before that, at Wolverhampton over the mile and 1/8 in a Class 5 handicap. He finished second by 1 1/4 lengths that afternoon. And again, he didn't break that well. He sat back early, closed up a little bit late, but for his first starts in July, he might need the race, but I've seen a lot worse races for him. His form hasn't been half bad. He's finally going to the mile and a half, which he's bred for. He's out of a Derby winner, so watch out for him here at 6-1. Watch out for the 2-horse Pearl Beach. Also, Daniel Thudhope's on this one for William Knight. He won. He placed over a mile 3/4 off the bench at Wolverhampton in April. He's another horse with a cut back and trip back to a mile and a half with a good post draw. He should also, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins. I'd definitely use in your place pot. But to recount my selection for the 445, the 6th race from York, we're going to take the 13-horse Robert Walpole as the top selection. Give kudos to the 2-horse Pearl Beach. 13-2-10 TriCast Trifecta. 13-2 in your place pot. Now the 515, the 7th race from York, we're going to skip it over. It's a very tough 2-year-old race, and if you know my rule, I don't look at 2-year-old races in Europe basically before Royal Ascot, maybe at that Sandown fixture in June, but we just skip them over. With that being said, good luck to all. Remember to join me tomorrow for my Dante preview here from York, and also follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Good luck, everybody.